events.
Right now, second stage, just a little bit more than...
Again, just like its approach to the International Space Station. SpaceX copy. There's not confirmation that that meant up.
Pilot Shubhanshu Shukla is the next one to Swabosh Uznansky and applause. Great.
There she is. We see Commander.
We've got our pilot, Shubhanshu.
India's space hero Shubhanshu Shukla is back home after a historic 18-day mission aboard the International Space Station. In an emotional message posted on social media, Shubhanshu said it was challenging and that coming back to Earth and holding my family back in my arms felt like home. He said human spaceflight missions are magical, but they are made magical by the humans. Hello and welcome. This is Inside South Asia and I'm Samiksha Srivastava. India-China diplomacy marches on. Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar was in China earlier this week for the Foreign Ministers meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Now, beyond the official smiles and talk of de-escalation, the question is, can the two sides break away completely from a tense backdrop that continues to linger in a complex relationship?
Foreign ministers of two of the most powerful economies in Asia. India's S. Jaishankar met his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi on SCO's guidelines, the former's first China visit in 5 years since the 2020 Galwan clashes. Regional stability, counter-terrorism, connectivity were on the agenda. The message from New Delhi today is clear: continued normalization of ties with Beijing.
We have made good progress in the past 9 months for the normalization of our bilateral relations. It is the result of the resolution of friction along the border and our ability to maintain peace and tranquility there. This is the fundamental basis of our mutual strategic trust and for smooth development of bilateral relations. It is now incumbent on us to address other aspects related to the border, including de-escalation.
India and China navigate a delicate balance, a backdrop of lingering border tensions with a renewed stress on de-escalation. A cautious re-engagement initiated by the Modi-Xi meeting last year, and a sensitive succession issue involving the Dalai Lama. The Xi-Modi BRICS meeting in Kazan, Russia in October 2024 reinforced the disengagement pact along crucial sections of the line of actual control after some years of intense tension post-Galwan in 2020. The special representative mechanism and other stalled dialogue formats are back and things are looking up again. But even as hopes of repair picked up, this. The Dalai Lama succession issue adds another layer of complexity to ties. Raised barely 2 weeks before Jaishankar's visit, it threatens to derail positives achieved. The Dalai Lama says his own trust has sole say in deciding the successor. Beijing asserts it must have the final say. India has voiced a hands-off approach, saying it holds no position on the succession and reincarnation issue. But Indian officials attending the Dalai Lama's birthday celebrations has China angry. Ahead of Jaishankar's SCO visit, the Chinese embassy in Delhi spelled it out, calling the issue a thorn in China-India relations, a burden for India, and a warning that India was shooting itself in the foot.
We hope that the Indian side will fully understand the highly sensitive nature of Tibet-related issues, recognize the anti-China separatist nature of the 14th Dalai Lama, abide by its commitments on the Tibet-related issue, be prudent in its words and actions, and stop interfering in China's internal affairs through the use of the Tibet-related issue.
Yet amid these tensions, there are definite signs of progress too. Resumption of the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra after 5 years and talks on trade do signal a cautious optimism. At the diplomatic level, Dr. Jaishankar conveyed India's support for China's SCO presidency, highlighting the need for mutual respect and sensitivities to rebuild stable ties. To what degree Dr. Jaishankar's visit is able to shift the fundamentals of the India-China relationship remains to be seen. But the fact is, it does underscore the delicate balance both countries are trying to strike between strategic rivalry on multiple outstanding issues and the necessities of global cooperation.
A fresh wave of political instability has gripped Pakistan in the run-up to the second anniversary of former Prime Minister Imran Khan's incarceration. Threats and warnings from both sides of the political divide fly thick and fast, with both the government and Khan treating the issue as a show of strength. It's as if a clock is ticking to big clashes breaking out in the country.
August 5th, 2023, the day Imran Khan, cricketer turned populist leader, was put behind bars. The Tosha Khana case was just one of over 150 charges levelled against him. Khan and his party called them politically motivated. The aftermath of Imran Khan's initial arrest had led to unprecedented protests across Pakistan. The government cracked down hard, civilians were tried in military courts, rights were brazenly violated. Is this a sign of things to come again? A new fiery countdown is underway in Pakistan. August 5th, 2025, exactly 2 years since Imran Khan was jailed, is set to mark the culmination of what his supporters call the do-or-die Free Imran Khan movement. And the gloves are off between Imran Khan and his supporters on one side and the Pakistani government and military on the other. And look who's all set to jump in. Khan's sons Qasim and Suleiman come in to add to the climate of polarization. Already there's a stark warning from the PMLN government saying the two would be arrested and dealt with severely if they cause unrest.
Imran Khan's own sons, Suleiman and Qasim, have made it clear that they are no longer waiting. They are going to America now. They will go and tell what kind of cruelty is happening here in regard to human rights, including with their father. Secondly, Suleiman and Qasim have said that they will come to Pakistan and will take part in the movement.
From within Pakistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister Ali Amin Gandapur and Imran Baker has put out an aggressive challenge. Announcing a do-or-die movement, he dares the government. He says he'll shoot if shot at, he will respond to action. On both sides, the knives are out, even amid the perceived limitations. The Shehbaz Sharif government insists Khan's incarceration is part of a legal process and upholding the rule of law. It knows that allowing Khan's sons and PTI to freely protest could embolden the opposition and potentially lead to unrest. In a sustained crackdown on Imran Khan, his party, the PTI, has been disbanded. It has lost all reserved seats in the National Assembly and its YouTube channel has been blocked. Looking ahead, the government steps up measures to control potential riots. A new paramilitary force, the Federal Constabulary, has been created. There's also a flip side. Taking strong action risks international condemnation and could further fuel public resentment. From the protesters, the key demand is release Imran Khan, restore democracy. They allege politically motivated charges, denial of basic rights, and project Khan as a figure fighting an imposed system. They focus on decentralized street-level action to build momentum. Khan himself targets what he calls the real decision-makers. He demands dialogue with the military, not the civilian government, which he calls illegitimate. He highlights abuses against PTI workers. There's also an international angle. Through an ongoing US congressional hearing, Khan seeks international scrutiny and pressure on Pakistan's human rights record. Heading into August, Pakistan finds itself at yet another critical juncture. Once again in Pakistan, the interplay of domestic protests, political maneuvering and international scrutiny will determine the road ahead. Whichever way things swing, the picture doesn't look too good.
Up next, we get you all the other news from the region in our Inside South Asia wrap.
The Amarnath Yatra was suspended on Thursday due to heavy rain in the valley. A woman was killed by a shooting stone along the Baltal route of the Yatra in Gandabal district. A weather advisory warned of more heavy rain in parts of Jammu and Kashmir. This is the first time the Yatra, which began on July 3rd, has been suspended from Jammu this year.
Former Nepali Prime Minister and leader of the opposition, CPN Maoist Centre, Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda, has offered to rally support for constitutional amendment if his clauses are met. Prachanda highlighted that the rights of the Nepalese people must be further institutionalized, and for this, he claimed a constitutional amendment is necessary. Prachanda highlighted the need for forward-looking amendment in areas such as governance structure, electoral system, provincial names and boundaries, fiscal, federalism and social justice.
Bangladesh's chief advisor, Muhammad Yunus, sent 1,000 kg of mangoes to the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, on Monday as a gesture of friendship and goodwill between the two neighboring countries. This continuation of the mango diplomacy is significant considering phases of tension between Dhaka and New Delhi following former Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's ouster last August. Interestingly, the tradition was initiated by the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in a bid to strengthen ties between the two countries. The Yunus-led interim Bangladesh government also sent consignments to Indian states, West Bengal and Tripura, bordering Bangladesh.
The United States' decision to impose new tariffs on apparel exports from Sri Lanka and Bangladesh is sending shockwaves through South Asia's garment industry, with thousands of jobs and billions in trade now at risk. Sri Lanka faces a 30% tariff on its exports to the US starting August 1st. Though lower than an earlier proposed 44%, the hike still threatens to erode the country's competitiveness in its most valuable export market. The US is Sri Lanka's top apparel destination, with exports worth nearly $2 billion annually. Local manufacturers are concerned that global buyers may shift sourcing to cheaper alternatives like Vietnam.
We need to explore alternative markets and, for example, pivot to EU and UK GSP Plus, or EU and UK and Canada, and probably we need to globally diversify, and I think we are already late when it comes to market diversification.
The apparel industry, a cornerstone of Sri Lanka's economy, is warning of potential layoffs and a decline in foreign exchange earnings unless duties are scaled back further.
Well, there can be instances. There can be instances where the cost down and laying off can happen. I would not count out laying offs, because even right now I have got officially certain information from our member companies, at least one member company, that they're going to lay off about 400 employees.
Meanwhile, Bangladesh is grappling with an even steeper 35% tariff on its garment exports to the US, its single largest market. The country's massive textile sector is responsible for 80% of its total exports and employing millions. But it's the smaller manufacturers that say they cannot absorb the added costs and are already feeling the pinch as global buyers look elsewhere.
Actually, Bangladesh will be hurt mostly, I will say, because USA can have multiple suppliers. The buyers can have multiple suppliers, maybe with a little bit more price than what they used to get from Bangladesh, but they can get alternative suppliers too. But for us, we don't have alternative markets, single market like USA in other countries. So definitely we will be more loser actually, I will say.
Both countries are lobbying for tariff relief. Sri Lanka has reportedly requested a cut to 20%, while Bangladesh is in talks over a possible revision and more lenient rules of origin. Industry bodies across South Asia fear the tariffs could reverse years of export-led growth and destabilize the region's labor-intensive sectors.
Trade is about really being interdependent to each other. It's not about protectionism. It's not punishing taxation. And if President Trump is trying to reduce taxes of its own people, then it should also reduce taxes, which is tariff, to other countries.
With an August deadline looming, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh now face an uphill task: defend their place in global supply chains or risk losing to better positioned competitors. The impact of these tariffs could reshape the future of South Asian manufacturing and export competitiveness.
Afghanistan is grappling with a severe heat wave this year. With rundown air conditioning units inside cars frequently breaking down, cab drivers in the southern city of Kandahar have come up with an ingenious way to beat the heat. Our next report brings you the details.
One of the poorest countries in the world, Afghanistan, also ranks among the most vulnerable to the impact of climate change. Temperatures in most parts of the war-ravaged country are soaring on the sweltering streets of Kandahar. However, the enterprising taxi drivers have cobbled together handmade air coolers which have provided much-needed respite from the scorching heat.
It used to get extremely hot for me. This started about 3 or 4 years ago. These cars' AC systems didn't work, and repairs were too expensive. So I went to a technician, had a custom cooler made by hand, and installed it in my car.
Taxis with scrubby barrels and exhaust tubes mounted to their roofs are a common enough sight in Kandahar now, with some taxi drivers even vouching for it to be better than an AC. The only concern is that they have to manually refill water in the unit twice a day.
This works better than an AC. ACS only cool the front. This cooler spreads air throughout the car. The only issue is refilling the water twice a day, but it works well for me.
Passengers like 19-year-old Nurullah, who recently had to get an intravenous drip to treat a heat-related illness, are a happy lot and have applauded the creative solution of customized coolers.
When there's no cooler, it becomes very difficult. I even carry an anti-heat medicine with me. I bought it specifically to drink during this heat. So, in these taxis where coolers are installed, it's really good. These people are helping solve this problem, and that's great. The problem is being addressed.
It is to be noted that since the Taliban seized power in August 2021, the war-torn nation has been left out of United Nations climate negotiations. Experts are of the opinion that the fallout from climate change would deepen Afghanistan's humanitarian crisis. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, a severe drought has also been spreading nationwide, which has resulted in devastation of crops and rural livelihoods. Given such a dismal scenario, the sheer ingenuity of the Afghan taxi drivers in battling the stifling heat is a pleasant surprise.
More than 150 people have died in Pakistan due to monsoon floods. Over 300 people are being treated for injuries. Heavy rainfall in the country has caused rivers to swell, leading to flash floods and impacting various regions.
There is so much water on this road that the entire motorcycle drowned in it. I tried very hard to get out, but couldn't find any way to reach the office. I don't understand how this water will drain out.
When water enters homes, first our belongings get damaged, then there is a risk of electrocution. The government should pay attention to this and find out why it's happening. The water is so high that we cannot go to the shops. Every day becomes a holiday.
I've been coming here since I was a child. The glacier has melted dramatically by at least 30 to 40 feet. And now, with this intense heat, even the snowfall isn't like it used to be. The majority of people here depend on farming. But every summer, glacial floods sweep through and devastate our crops.